Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Intentional Healing, and I am Nicole Bridger. Today, I want to talk to you about those of us that show up as the caregiver. When is it a good thing and a natural and beautiful thing, and when are we going into self-depleting? Before we begin, as always, taking a deep breath in and allowing yourself to just be here. Whatever's out there in your world calling your attention, drawing your energy back to you now, just for this little while together. You may notice there's a storm coming here in Bali, so there'll be a bit of thunder perhaps in the background, but allowing those beautiful sounds to draw your presence and awareness even closer in. So this is quite a personal story, but I think I recognize that whenever I'm going through something, that somebody out there in my community is also and could also learn from my own processing. So I'll tell you a little story about myself as the caregiver. I think that I have always sort of shown up as a caregiver since very early. I think I took a sense of responsibility for my family's well-being and happiness, being a bit of a peacekeeper, a light bringer in our family dynamic as I was young. I know that as a teenager, I definitely took on caregiver. Whether you were a close friend of mine or a stranger, I would give to those in need, perhaps a homeless person on the street, or take on the role of caregiver to my friends, cooking meals, or being a bit of a mama bear to my friends. Even people that I wasn't that close of friends with, if I ever saw someone in need, I was always stepping in. Then with my ex-husband, who struggled with his own demons, I took on the role of caregiver. How can I make it better? How can I take care of this and fix this person, or help this person? And then, of course, as mother, you are a caregiver. That relationship with my son is actually quite balanced, and I really enjoy it. Can see the beauty of a balanced caregiver, and still to this day feel that sense of responsibility around my families, particularly being far away from them, wanting to make sure that everyone's okay. Bring a sense of healing and love. So now, with my partner now that I'm with, we are creating a wellness space together here in Bali, which is so exciting, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. It's a wellness retreat space here in Canggu in Bali called Sahuli. And as we are stepping into this relationship together, and we are building not only our romantic and life partner relationship together, we are also stepping into business partners together. And what I was feeling lately was like hypercritical of his actions. I would get easily annoyed, and I just wanted to push him away from my heart space, push him away. And I knew that it wasn't logical. It wasn't about him. And I knew that it was something that I could heal. that is the beauty of relationships, that when something about somebody is annoying you, it's a time to look in and ask yourself why. And I had reached a point in my own journey where I could see what was happening, but wanted some help to slow down that sympathetic nervous system that's sort of in a fight or flight response, because I was feeling triggered by the stress of going back into business after going through bankruptcy with my last business. I was feeling the stress of bringing in a life partner after what happened with my divorce of my ex-husband. And when your body kicks into that fight or flight response, it wants to go into default modes that feel familiar. When you're feeling something uncomfortable and you don't know what to do with it, you find modes that are like survival modes. And one of mine is a caregiver. So what I was experiencing was that I was ready to let go of this role of caregiver. And that's why I was pushing it away and feeling angry and frustrated. But inside it was with myself. And I didn't want to take on the role of caregiver anymore. I have evolved past that, and he was never asking me to be caregiver. So this is something to be really clear on, is that was an old role of mine that was showing up and had no place anymore. Or maybe put nicer, was perfect time to heal that. And that's why partners are such a beautiful mirror for us when we allow them to be, because that experience I was having with him helped me to go in and look and see, well, what was this really about? So there's a wonderful breathwork healer here in Bali. He's actually also Canadian. His name is Edward Dangerfield. And I heard from a friend of mine about him and booked a session with him, because I knew that this was some deep old stuff that I wanted some guidance into. And the beauty of breathwork is that when you're already conceptually understanding what's going on, but you're not able to turn off that sympathetic response that goes on in your body, breathwork allows you to access that sympathetic nervous system, to slow it down and heal on a cellular level the energy that's blocked in there, that's being held by memory of your physical experience, that kicks in that automatic response. So I had such a transformative session with him. We went really deep and really old, and both of us were able to see that process and the how one, whether you choose to do breath work or just even breath work with yourself, or meditation, or just feeling, because with this work you cannot solve it with your mind. You can understand and get an idea of what's going on, but you won't be able to embody it with the knowing. You need to actually embody it. Embody the knowing into your being in order to heal it. And how one does that, and something that sort of was repeated as I was in the session, was that I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I am forgiven for ever taking on that role of caregiver, of thinking that I needed to show up in that way to be enough. and in a way giving myself permission to be just as I am. And as the session went on, I just felt such a huge feeling of gratitude. Thank you to myself, thank you to my parents, thank you to my ex-husband, my current partner, my child, this wild experience we call life, just so much gratitude. So for yourself, if you identify and can see that you show up as caregiver a lot, that you take on that role, sometimes it gives us a sense of purpose. Sometimes we don't really know what else to do, and it just kicks in. It's just what we know, how to show up. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to now stop being a caregiver. I'm a healer, of course. I will always be a caregiver. I'm a mother. But there is a difference between imposing caregiver onto somebody who's not even asking for it, and also when you are depleting yourself. So with my clients, with my son, when I am showing up as caregiver, as healer, as mother, it never depletes me. It builds us up. If you are being a caregiver right now and you are feeling resentful, that means that there's something needs to be shifted because you are depleting yourself. If you are showing up as caregiver and you are keeping tabs, how much you give compared to how much the other person gives back, something needs to shift there. It is not from a place of unconditional love and abundance. It's from a place of scarcity. It's from a place of I should, I need to, it's up to me, nobody else will. A place of needing to do the right thing, to be loved, to be lovable. And you can feel the difference when showing up as caregiver comes from those sort of fear-based places compared to when it comes from a place of pure love and light and flow. So if you are right now, keeping tabs, feeling resentful, getting tired, being caregiver for everyone, the first step is to slow down that sympathetic nervous system, that automatic response that's kicked in when you are feeling stressed, feeling unsafe, feeling something uncomfortable that you don't know what to do with. And how you do that is simply breathe. Breathe slowly. Breathe deeply and fully. You are safe. There's nothing that you need to do, achieve, or prove in this moment. Just be. Keep breathing. Allow yourself to go inward into where you're feeling those uncomfortable feelings and breathe into them. You are showing up as caregiver because a part of you is afraid. What are you afraid of? If this part of you could speak, what is it trying to say? And breathe. Just listen. Listen to this part of you with compassion, without judgment. I've got you. You are forgiven. You are beautiful just as you are. Thank you. And I love you. Continue listening and loving this part of you. This part of you that believes that it needs to show up as caregiver. As you begin to slow down and love this part of you, you will begin to feel safe of letting go of the role of caregiver and instead allow yourself to show up as caregiver only when it feels divinely aligned for you to do so. When it feels like it's coming from a place of total abundance, unconditional love. Just keep breathing. You will find that sense of peace. I hope this is helpful for all you beautiful caregivers out there. Have a blessed day.